Hey, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. This is your Astro Tarot report for the month of July 2025. I'm incorporating my tarot more in my monthly reports because that's what I do in my readings. So I really always should have done that. So, Taurus, your month starts out with a beautiful big transit in your first house, Uranus, Venus conjoining at 29 degrees, happening today, which could radically change your life all of a sudden, out of the blue. Information from someone from the past comes in and Venus has been in your first house now for the month of June, which would have given you a lot of deep understanding about what you truly desire, what you want. Focus on relationships and finances. So now this is some sort of resolve to that, some sort of discovery, some sort of either you want to set yourself free from a relationship. Many Taurans probably do in this transit. You feel liberated and happy. If you're in the wrong relationship, if you're in the right relationship, good news comes in about your spouse, about their finances. There could be good news about their money. There could be good news for you about money. Um, you feel really optimistic about something because Venus and Uranus are very optimistic. You feel liberated in this transit. You could suddenly get liberated from a debt. A financial opportunity comes in that liberates you because you're no longer financially restricted in some way. But then Venus is going to move into your second house today. It's happening today in the sign of Gemini. Let's go ahead and pop the chart up. Um, so your ruling planet, so your energies are going to change. You're going to be much more focused on business matters. Or if something really beautiful happened in a relationship, there's going to be a lot of communication and perhaps romantic interactions and meetups and communication. But with the second house Venus, there's also a focus on beautiful objects, making things, possessions, also feeling more shall we say, worthy of love. You may have had a transformation with this Uranus in your first house for the last 8 years, transforming you, and now you're really sort of ready to sort of. If you're in the right relationship, you could just have a breakthrough in that relationship and opening up your heart and being able to have a more loving connection. But Venus in the second house is going to put a focus on your finances, money, and relationships, and it's going to be there for the month. Venus is not the strongest in, actually, no, Venus is okay in Gemini. It's Virgo Venus doesn't like. So, this could be good money. Also, you could be finding yourself involved in trying to raise money through selling things or advertising or putting some sort of product out there in the world. Now, what else do we have? We also have Neptune going retrograde. We have three major transits happening today. We have Neptune going retrograde in your 12th house. That's going to happen later. We want to keep the ascendant on Taurus. So Neptune's going to go retrograde today. Saturn's going to go retrograde on the 13th. Um, but this Neptune now is going to go retrograde and conjoin Saturn again, where you're going to have some sort of deep download about some sort of karmic destiny. Something opens up in your psyche where you become very connected because Saturn's going to go retrograde and it's very karmic, where we really reevaluate our deeds and we go back and we reflect and we redeem and we most likely somebody's coming in with the past too, because when a retrograde planet, especially Neptune, which is higher octane of Venus, this could be a divine partner from the past. If you're already married and in your setup, then this is a karmic issue coming up for clearing and that's causing you to self-sabotage or be in relationships that are not in alignment for you. Some sort of karmic resolve is going to happen as Saturn goes backwards. But this time, when Saturn's going to go into Pisces. Now, Saturn, we've done a lot of karma investigations with a lot of planets already this year in Pisces. So now Saturn's going to go back there. And when Saturn goes back there, we're going to reevaluate some of these karmic lessons. But this time we're in the situation and we see how we behave in it. Because we're going to have a Mercury retrograde this month too in Leo, in your fourth house. And we're going to have a new moon in your fourth house, plus the sun's going to go into your fourth house this month. So there's going to be a lot of shifting and moving around, and perhaps, or, or it can just be communication from somebody from the past that comes in that shifts your living situation. Or a new moon in your fourth house often can indicate a new family member, a new moving situation, a new living situation. And then with a Mercury retrograde, it could be something from the past that comes in, a property that you lived in once before. You could go back and go there. Or it could also be just somebody from your past coming in, and now you become family with that person, We've got these big new beginnings where we're starting big new chapters. So we're setting up these new homes and new families and new relationships. But again, if you're in one that is sustaining and is your right relationship, then you and your spouse move or transition or relocate, or you come up with an idea of how to start something new on your in your home, in your property. Could also be a child, Mercury transiting the fourth house with a new moon there. But it's in retrograde, so it's most likely something from the past returning, an idea from the past, projects from the past. Saturn retrograde again will also bring some kind of a career past. Um, because it's in your 12th house, there's a good chance there's something from your past that's a past life gift that you haven't had the self-esteem for because that Venus is going into your second house. You're going to start stepping into more having to activate your higher self-esteem around this business, because if you don't, then in other words, you have to sort of have confidence and put yourself out there around some sort of new beginning. And that Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house is giving you clarity. When Neptune goes retrograde, we gain more clarity. Saturn retrograde, we get clarity on reflection on what we need to do differently so that we have a different output or different outcome in our life. So, so these big new beginnings are happening with some retrogradation involving people, projects from the past that we were not karmically evolved enough or self-esteem enough for. Um, this south node that's coming up in your fifth house on the we've got Mars in the south node conjoining. That's a big transit that's happening on the 20th, and that's happening in your fifth house where you could see a very powerful past life gift open up, a spiritual gift. Mars K2 is very spiritual, and you release some sort of material control of an idea around creativity, and you let go and you become way more spiritual, way more flow about some sort of creative project. You've got this North Node in your 11th house, which means you're really meeting new people and expanding your tribe, and your Dharma mission is sort of going to expand through meeting lots of new people and opportunities. And that a word of mouth on whatever new beginning you have here, Taurus, that's going to really help you accelerate. Um, Plus, we have Jupiter in Cancer in your third. So if you're in media or selling things or writing, speaking projects, um, your Jupiter is going to be there for the year. And on this full moon in Capricorn that's coming up on the 10th, we're going to be out of combustion and it's going to be go time. You're going to have Venus in your second as your ruling planet in the sign of Gemini. You're going to have Jupiter in the third, which is expansion. You're going to be busy, busy, making money, selling, creating things. It's busiest time so far for Taurans this year, no doubt about it. You're going to be meeting lots of people. You're going to have that South Node in your fifth house, and you might be releasing friends that are just toxic, that are not right for you, and flowing into more spiritually. You're evolving more to a spiritual group that's spiritually aligned with you, and letting go of sort of toxic attachments to friendships that aren't right for you, or relationships. You might really just be really letting go of a relationship there. Um, So yeah, wow, here's a biggie. Uranus also is going to move into your second house, and that's going to shake up your finances big time. It's non-negative because it's going to make a beautiful sextile to that Saturn in retrograde, which means when you clear this blockage or some sort of self-sabotaging, low self-esteem issue that's not having you be as successful as you deserve to be, is going to just set you free, and you are going to be a power force with that Uranus in there for 8 years. Your finances are they could go up, they could go down, but they will stabilize and you will be financially liberated. It's kind of like Rocky. You're always going to be okay. Taurans usually are. Taurans and Capricorns are the few people on this earth that can shake up their situation more and be fine. They like goats always land on their feet, and bulls are stable. They are solid. So financially, Taurans are going to be fine, but you are going to be going through some sort of interesting ride in the next 8 years with Uranus in your second house. I'm going to pull cards on that for Taurus. And that's going to shake up your life. You're earning how you feel about yourself. Could also be you get involved in making things, beautiful, precious objects, selling things. You're going to be, you're evolving to a new way of making money. Your finances are going to shift in this. You can't, I had Uranus transiting my 11th house, and when it went in there in 2018 and now it's leaving that, I know a whole bunch of different people. So your life completely changes when Uranus transits your second house in your financing. So basically what's happening, wow, interesting. So I get the Eight of Swords. So there's that Uranus Venus transit. So that's it. You see, look, breaking through a stuck situation, Uranus Venus could be through finances, that something comes in financially, I already explained, or it could be a relationship, a new relationship, or one ending. There's work cards, working in a way you love, a relationship you love, and leaving everything else, not wanting anything that isn't really in your highest desired quality of life that you want to live now. You want a good quality of life. Taurans are very quality of life driven because they are Venus ruled. They like to have pleasures and eat well and in nice environments and a quality of life. And it's a wonderful thing to be Taurus for that reason. Being ruled by Venus. So you've had Uranus in your first house for 8 years, so you've really discovered who you truly are. And so now it looks like you're stepping into your some sort of a business. There's that Gemini energy. There's that Tower card keeps. Look at that Queen of Pentacles. I think you guys make it rich here on something. Very, very, very abundant energy. Wow, and you're waking up. Look at that. That's that 12th house transit with Saturn. You're waking up and letting go of karma. You're realizing what's karmic in your life with that Saturn in retrograde. You're going to let that go. Wow, look at this. New beginnings, financial, really stable new financial beginnings for you guys. Very stable. That's a good card. That card, and then I got another card underneath there, the sun. So I would say by Leo season, and the sun is going to go into Leo here, which is let's take a look. Did I say that's your fifth house? No, Leo is your fourth house. So some sort of new beginning in a living situation when the sun goes there too. A lot of focus on moving or your home. Am I sharing the screen? Hang on, let me share the screen. So yeah, jumping around a little. So we've got that full moon in Capricorn coming in on the 10th, which is happening where is Capricorn for you guys? It is your ninth house. So there could be traveling, but that's that wake up card I got. That awakening card where you get some sort of big spiritual wake up or some sort of realization, some sort of higher belief opens up in you. You suddenly see something differently. You could have a total shift in your belief system when the full moon Capricorn in your ninth house. I have a report on it on my other video. You might want to go check that. I did a big, deep dive on this full moon for all signs. So you can go deeper on that video. But this is a big shift in your beliefs. You've got all this going on in your third house with Jupiter and the sun right now. So there's really a focus on third house, which again is media, but also can be learning something new and changing your mind and shifting in the big macro shifts with that full moon. Because it's a full moon, it reveals something, and it also makes it clear your dharma, your total dharma. Everything's going to come together for you, Taurus. That's what it feels like. Like all these things are going to pull together. All these different parts of this astrology is pulling you into some sort of whole new person that is going to have almost this entirely new outlook on life, especially with Uranus going into your second house, where I think you become really free. You become more esoteric and less materially, shall we, because we got that South Node in Virgo, less material. We're going to have that full moon Capricorn in a very spiritual, the macro house, higher learning, travel, higher consciousness. An opportunity could show up for travel, a big opportunity. Plus that Saturn in retrograde in your 12th could be a project or something from the past comes in that takes you traveling. Um, But that ninth house full moon is going to be some big revelation and realization and about your true calling and dharma. And it's going to evolve around, it's going to also involve third house, which is media, social media, websites. I think I built my first website with Jupiter in my third. So something's pulling together here for you, Taurus, this new beginning, and you're aligning less on an attachment to your material comfort, and you're leaving the castle and going out into the jungle more. Let's put it that way. And venturing out, and you have this new spiritual belief with that full moon in your ninth house that you can do it and land and be successful, and like you don't have to, you can let go and flow with that North Node in Pisces. That's what's going to happen. You're going to let go and flow, and you're just going to trust more, and you're going to land just fine on your feet. Taurans, I know, do. Um, I do get this union card, so there is a divine mate. If you're in your divine relationship, doesn't apply to you. If not, one will be coming in. I am getting a lot of reads on that. Karma's ending, so karmic relationships will end. So, what else? So we talked about all those planets moving into Leo. We have that new moon in Leo on the 24th. Sun moves there on the 22nd. Mercury retrograde there on the 18th. So around that end last week of the month, there's going to be a lot of focus on your fourth house, living, home. You might be moving, or um, family, children, creative projects involving family, fun with the family, um, kind of energy. Children is Leo. Mercury could also be children, but also we're looking at communication, and somebody from your past could come in that is true family. And then we do have Venus moving into your third house with Jupiter and Venus there. I'm going to talk more about that in August because that doesn't happen till the 31st. But that's going to be awesome when Venus and Jupiter come together for everybody in their houses. But a third house, there's going to be a lot of blessings for you over your third house. And you're going to want to look that up online and read about the third house because there's going to be quite a bit of focus there. Because Venus, your ruling planet, is also going to be in the sign of Gemini, which is a third house energy. And then that goes into your second house, which is making money, earnings, and being financially opulent with Venus there. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards. What's an overriding message for Taurus for the month of July 2025? Big month of changing, leaving empty situations, leaving and letting go of empty situations and starting new. This is new financially beginnings. Again, that's that Venus in your second house. A new financial opportunity opens up. And then we get, it's so funny. We keep getting this card. Taurans must be feeling a bit stuck because we keep getting feeling unstuck. And then we get one more card here. Let's pull a couple more. And if you would like a personal reading, feel free to contact me. My information is below. I hope I remembered to put it down there. But my website is soullevels.com. And there's a link there you can click for booking. So yes, it looks to me like Taurans are really ending old cycles and really moving forward and really ending stuff that just is dead to them in their hearts and free liberation. That's a real message here for Taurus. So I hope that was helpful for you and that you have a wonderful 4th of July and a wonderful month of July in 2025. Okay, namaste.